I am so excited that you are here because I have to say that webinars are so insanely powerful. They have totally changed my business. They've allowed my revenue to just skyrocket. They've allowed me to build more relationships with my customers and my students inside my courses. I absolutely love webinars, and I hope that by the end of this course, you are going to fall in love with webinars too. Now, one thing I want to point out when you are talking to friends and family, emailing them about this topic and getting their feedback is when they write back to you and tell you, hey, these are the reasons why I'm not interested in learning about gourmet cooking, or, these are the reasons why I've just really never considered taking up knitting as a hobby. Those issues that are holding them back are called objections to the sale. Okay? Because those things that they're telling you are the exact reasons why your potential customer may not sign up for your webinar and may not buy from you at the end of your webinar. The more objections to the sale that you can address during your webinar by giving people the solutions and the answers to their objections, by showing them, hey, that objection you have, that time objection, that's a moot point because I'll show you how to do this, for just 10 minutes a day. Or that money objection that you have, that's a moot point because I'm going to show you how to do this particular thing on a budget. The next thing you want to do with your webinar title is focus on the benefits of your students attending your class. You need to ask yourself, when someone walks away from my class, what will they be able to go do? How will their life improve as a result of attending my class? So again, we can see here the benefit of attending this ConvertKit class is that you're going to get 1,000 email subscribers if you follow our advice in class. The benefit of attending Amy Porterfield's free class is that you're going to know how to deliver your first wildly profitable webinar. Another example would be a webinar that I've done around Facebook advertising, and it's called How to Make a Profit with Facebook Ads. So again, the benefit of attending my class is that, whereas maybe in the past you've dabbled in Facebook ads, but they've just wasted your money, in my class, I'm going to solve that burning question for you, that problem you've been having, which is we want to make our Facebook ads profitable. We want to use them to make money. Now, the next tip for being a raving success for your very first webinar is to show your face. And I know that there are a lot of people who want to avoid this step like the plague. They're like, Beth Ann, I will only do a webinar if I can just put all my pretty little slides up and that's it. Please, please, please show your face. Now, of course, most of the webinar is going to be on your slides. You're going to screen share and your slides are going to be what your students see for almost the entire webinar. But I think it is incredibly important before you officially start your class. So you've hopped on a few minutes early, you're saying hello, you're welcoming your new students, you've got one eye on the chat so you can give people shout outs. You're going to say who you are, why you're so excited, and just get to know everybody. You want to have your face there. It makes a huge difference. I have been to probably close to 100 webinars online. I love them. I sign up for free classes all the time. And I cannot tell you what an enormous difference it makes when someone will share their face with me at the beginning of class versus someone that doesn't. To be honest, I'm not even sure if I've ever bought a product from someone who did a webinar where they didn't show their face because I felt like I didn't get to know them. It was just a stranger on the other side. I didn't have the same level of trust with them. I didn't build a relationship. They didn't become a friend. And that is what you want to be to your students. You want them to feel like they know you, they like you, they trust you. They need to have that picture of who you are in their minds. And you don't have to look perfect. I mean, look at me right now. My hair is kind of a mess. I've totally done webinars looking about as polished as I look right now. Not a big deal. Because I know that simply by showing my face, by smiling, by relating to people, it makes an enormous difference in my ability to connect, to help them, and to ultimately make more sales. So that's how you're going to connect with your students in the before part of your story. You want them to relate to your struggles, relate to those pain points that you had. That's why they're there. That's why they're willing to give up an hour or more of their precious time. It's because they've got this pressing pain point and they want it solved. They want it fixed. And so your before part of your story, that's exactly where your students are at too, okay? But then when you share the after part of your story, you want your students to be able to envision themselves in the after part of your story too. So you want to ask them to take a minute to dream big. Ask them, what kind of a difference would it make in your life if you were able to bring in $1,000 extra of income each month? Or another example, what kind of difference would it make in your life to have a healthy, well-fed family who loved dinner together each night? So again, this is not just about webinars that teach online business and marketing and all of those things. Of course, those are topics I love to teach on. But whether you're teaching on meal planning, cooking, knitting, running, nutrition, fitness, whatever you are teaching on, you have a before and after story. That's why you're here. That's why you have this webinar inside of you that you want to get out, right? Because you've been changed and you want to help others be changed too. And then the fourth transition idea goes like this. After you recap what your students learned, you can say, I'm not sure why you showed up here today. It could be because ... And then the because is where you're going to fill in all of the different problems or pain points that led somebody to sign up and attend your class. So here are some examples. It could be because you're tired of spending so much time marketing and feeling unimpressed with the results. Or maybe you're brand new to business, but you want to start earning customers right away. Or ... So you're going to give them a few different scenarios. You're going to highlight a few of the pain points that could have led them to this place. The idea here is that everyone in your class should be saying, yes, that's me, to one of those scenarios you just gave. So again, you're connecting with them. You're making them feel understood. And by them feeling like you totally get their problem, that helps them to also feel like you totally have the solution. Now, with that said, you may get some questions where it's not part of your secret sauce and you feel totally comfortable to share the answer to a certain strategy question or whatever the case may be. But it may be helpful for you to go back on screen share mode to demonstrate. So for example, this happens to me all the time when I'm doing a Pinterest webinar or a Facebook webinar, is I want to go over to Pinterest and show them what I mean in terms of the boards they want to create on their profile. So if you want to screen share just any old Internet Explorer window, what you're going to do is, so I've got my Google Chrome up here. Let's just take this page for an example. So I'll have that up full screen here, even though they're still seeing my face. See that? Okay. So I had that screen up and I hit the screen share button. I need to go to the application window and then I should see that Internet Explorer window as an option, okay? So I can hit share. Now that's what they're gonna see. I hit present to everyone. I'm gonna hide that button and so they're gonna see whatever's on my screen. Now, let me go over and show you what you're gonna see. So here's my Internet Explorer window and you can see I've got all these different tabs up. The cool thing is I can open multiple tabs with this one Chrome browser, and no matter what tab I'm on, that's what my webinar students are going to see. So for example, I've now switched over to a Pinterest tab and you can see right here, that's what they're seeing over there. But you do need to keep in mind, and this has totally happened to me before, I've been so busy, I've had all these tabs open doing all these different things, and all of a sudden I switch over on my screen to a different browser like this, and I'm talking to them and I'm demonstrating and I'm thinking everything is going great, but guess what? They're still over here. seeing this screen. Just a quick tip for you, because there is nothing that is more discouraging than to talk on and feel like, man, I'm crushing it. I'm giving them all this great advice and they're just seeing like totally the wrong screen. It's like your total answer to that question fell flat and everybody's trying to get your attention, but you're screen sharing and you're doing this. So unless you're really keeping good tabs on the chat with the second monitor up, you may realize kind of late in the game that you've been showing the wrong screen the whole time. So just a tip for you there. Okay, so let's say, for example, that you really like this template, but you don't want to use this color scheme. You want to use a completely different color scheme. Let me show you how you can edit this template and make it work for you. So I'm going to go to Slide, and then I'm going to choose Edit Master. Okay, so all of these slides that are part of your template, they're considered master slides. So just hit Edit Master. And then you can see, here's all the master slides that are showing up. So I could go to this slide, for example. I can edit the master title style so that it automatically uses a different font than Homemade Apple. What I want to do is I'm going to hit this box because I want to change the color. So I've selected that box. Now I just go over here to my paint bucket, which is the fill color. And I can choose any color I want. So I can do custom, I can come in here. So if you know, for example, that your business uses the color FFF445, then you can type it right in there, hit OK, and then there you go. And now if I exit out, that's what that slide looks like. So I can now take this slide and duplicate it, use it over and over again, and that's my master slide. It's set with that color. Stock photos are a regular part of my business arsenal, and I think you'll find them insanely helpful for your business too. Let me share with you some of my favorite sites for finding stock photos. The good news, some of these sites are totally free. However, I will say that the sites where you're paying a little bit for each stock photo, they tend to have a greater variety of photos and higher quality photos. So you'll just need to weigh the pros and cons, and I'll kind of give them to you as we go through these different resources. Let's start with several resources where you can find free stock photos. One of my favorite free stock photo sites is Pexels.com, Pexels.com. I love that on Pexels you can search, so if you're looking for a desk, you'll see quite a few results. And they do have some really great, clean, modern designs. If you see a photo you like, just click on it, and you'll see a button to get your free download. Just right-click, Save Image As, and you're ready to go. I can rename this photo and save it in any folder I'd like. And it'll take you what looks like a regular YouTube video, essentially, except in this case, there's no video there yet. Then come down here where it says Share, choose Embed, and that is the embed code that you're going to copy, and you can either paste onto a page on your own website, or you can paste this onto a lead page, whatever you want to do. But essentially, you need to grab that embed code and add it to the page where you want to host your live webinar. So now that I'm in the dashboard on my WordPress site, let me show you what you can do if you want to embed a Google Hangout for your webinar on your own site. So I'm going to go to Pages and then Add New, and then I can say Test Webinar for my students up here, whatever you want to call your page. And then before I copy and paste in my code, I'm going to come down here to Template and choose Landing Page. So what that's going to do is make this a really clean, simple page. There's not going to be a sidebar to distract everybody. It's just going to really be a blank canvas, okay? So now I want to go over to the text editor, and that's where I can copy and paste my embed code, okay? Let me save this as a draft, and then I'm going to preview it. And there you go. So there is your Hangout. And I will show you in another video how to embed your chat box on the same page as well, okay? So see how easy that was? You don't even need fancy lead pages or anything. I mean, you can start doing webinars on an absolute budget. So I've logged into lead pages and I've selected the page that I want to edit. And we create our webinar live pages using the lead pages drag and drop builder. And my team member Ellen has a fabulous tutorial video for you. It's coming up next to show you how to work with the drag and drop builder so that you can create a custom webinar live page or other types of custom landing pages too. So in this video, I'm just going to show you how quick and easy it is. Once you have your page set up, we've embedded our video here to just add an extra little box where you can add your HTML script, and then you add your chat box script right there. So essentially, if I was starting from scratch with a new page, I would come over to widgets, and then I would choose HTML, and I'd want to drag this HTML box over to the section where I want my chat box embedded. So in this case, I already have an HTML box right here, but you just drag it right over, easy peasy. If you add one too many, just hit the trash can and you'll be fine. So from there, double click on this box and then HTML pops up, hit that, and yours will of course be blank at first, and you just want to take your chat box script that we got from Chatango and paste it right into here, hit save, hit update. Now let's take a look at our page. So easy peasy, we've just added a chat box to our page. Okay, so from here, let's talk about a few different options and settings you need to have correct before you're ready to go live to your students. And, just an FYI, right now we're in what's called the green room. So your students who are over on your live webinar page, they're in the chat, they're excited, they're ready to go. They don't see any of this. They're not going to see any of this screen, this recording, until you hit the start broadcast button, so that green button, okay? So don't hit that until you're really, really ready to go live and say hello and start welcoming your students. So first of all, you can invite people to your Hangout. So you could send them the link or add them by name, okay? And that would be if you're doing a joint webinar. So you can invite somebody to come on in and be part of the chat with you. And again, you both can be hanging out in the green room before you go live to all of your students.